Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Todd here with Swing Trade Pros, coming at you with another bot video. This is video number 2. This one is in regards to the STP scalper bot, optimal settings, and the prior real money testing that we've been doing since approximately April 25th with our new high time frame filter. If you watched our video number 1, you know that we've added an RSI filter as well, so that will be an additional thing that will make the signals a little bit better. Now what I want to do on this video here, the intent of this video is to actually look at the bot settings, look at the overview, look at the profits over the course of inception, and then see where we can improve and then make the necessary adjustments to our members. And let's get over to the exchange. This is the actual exchange account. This is the Bybit account that we've got our STP scalper set up on. Currently we are in a short. The market hasn't really moved too much, so we've got a short entry at 9,300. We've closed another short earlier. This is the second short of the day. Our exit on this guy is going to be 92.74 via limit once we dump down there. Otherwise, we've got one round of DCA at 93.79, and then that'll adjust the take profit higher. The take profit will be adjusted somewhere in the middle there. It's going to be 93.37 or something like that. So if we scroll down, I will show you this account's got about $1,000 US in it, or 0.1 BTC. It has returned since inception $143 or 0.015, which isn't all that great. However, the numbers are skewed for returns. It's about 16.5% return. And this is on the overall account, which started basically the beginning of May. However, the numbers are skewed for returns that we have been steadily adding to the account. We should have left the account alone and not added funds to get a clear picture of returns. I can show you, guys and girls, that here as well. If you come on over to assets, and then if you go to trade history, I can show you all the trade history. So if let's go to asset history, BTC, and let's start in April 26th, and our end date would be today. Search, and let's go all the way back. First page that we can start. So we started very low, 0.0115, ran it up to 131, which was a good gain right there. Added a bit of balance, actually, added to 0.05, traded a bit, added a bit more, 5.7. Then we traded from 5.74 to 5.92. Deposited again to 652. End of this page, we end up at 677. Come on back a page. 677 here. Looks like we had an auto reverse loss here, unfortunately. Bumped her back up to 682. Added yet again more balance, 0.083. So you can see why the numbers are a little bit skewed, right? It should have been left alone at initial balance and then it grown over time. Whereas our returns are 16.5%, but we're successively adding a lot of balance each time. And then from here, relatively stable, 0.083, and we're all the way up to 875 here. And then let's come back to the front page, 879. Okay, we had a couple losses here, 853, back up to 89, so we're back in the clear. Then we added balance again, 105, and then from here looks like we had a slight loss, or that could have been a funding payment too for position size, and then we run all the way up to 1077. So basically we started with 0.011 something and we're at 0.1, but we successfully added a lot of balance to it. I'm just gonna, like I said, this calculation that I've taken is just based on total profit, total account balance. So this would get a lot better if it was left alone and not touched. However, I'm still very happy with this 16.5% return, even with adding successfully to that account since April 26 is pretty good. It's going to beat your mutual funds, that's going to beat traditional investing, and that's going to beat any sort of ETF or lending program or staking, right? So these are good returns. However, without adding balance, it would have been higher. So the next thing I want to get into is I've got, for our indicator clients, if you've got our bot guides, if you go to our bot guides links, there is a test bot data folder, And in it, you will find there's two spreadsheets. There's 3 commas short and the long. And we'll get into that next year. Let me just scroll down. Bot data. So let's look at the bot data direct. This is from those bots that I just showed you. I just showed you the exchange account. I haven't shown you the bots yet. But this is the data since basically inception of where we're at with things. So use safety order. So 0 is obviously base entry. Safety 1, safety 2, safety 3. And I don't know why this ended up saying 5. This should have been 4. It's probably when I uploaded it from Excel to Google Drive. However, this is the short. So if you notice, there's 6 safety, 6 levels on SO2 and only 1 on SO3, right? If you go over to the long, it'll be similar. We got 11 on SO2 and 3 on SO3. Now, when I'm looking at this here for the bot data, to me, the bot data is supporting 2 safety orders max, because you're not really using them any time to get out. The only times that we use them based on the chart, and I can show you some examples later in this video, is when we're in that auto reverse stage and it's trying to cut it with DCA. Sorry, it's trying to place that DCA, but then it auto reverses. So it's basically wiping you out in a loss after taking SO3 and 4 and 5 if you were running 5. So to me, bot data is supporting 2 safety orders max. Short SO2, 6 levels, hit it, and SO3, 1 level. Longs was similar with 11 hitting SO2, and on SO3 there was 2 hit. So really, if we wipe out SO3, all you've got is safety 1 and safety 2, and then below it, if you get reversed, whatever, cut the trade, let it go. Now onto the safety scale, and let me explain this. For those that have our bot guides, if you go over to here, there's the DCA calculator and leverage spreadsheet. And this is very handy too. So safety scale, we're basically trading on 20% base, 40% safety. So that means that 20% of your balance is entered in on the first, I want to call it SO0, but it's your base entry to enter your trade. And then you've got SO1 and SO2, which are limit orders placed if the price goes behind you, like against you. So if you're in a long here and you enter at 10K, you've got 2 SOs placed below you. So maybe you got one at 99.50 and 98.75 or something, just for rough numbers, right? That's if it reverses against you, your price goes against you. They have a volume scale of 2.0. So that means that in terms of contracts, it is double each time. So it is aggressive DCA. It's designed to get you out, and it's designed for catching slight wicks and then you're reverse and you're out. As I said on the prior video, we've been testing this and running this on real money for the past year. So we are only getting better with time, and we are only refining not only our indicators, our strategies, and also our risk management. So with that being said, base order is 20% and SO1 is 40%. SO2 puts you at 80%, right? No bot settings past SO2. That's 140% capital usage. That's 1.4x leverage on cross. Now, anywhere past that, you're getting a little too risky because, and let me show you, SO3 is 160% added, so that's 300% total. SO4, 320% added to that, 620% total, aka 6.2x. If you had an SO5 on here, that's 640% capital usage on top of that, with a total value usage of, well, 12.6x leverage, or 1,260% capital usage, and that would be if you hit a 5th SO. And I gotta apologize for everyone that had that ETH where the auto reverse signal did not work due to 3 servers going down. You did actually hit SO5 if you had SO5 on it and you were 12.6x, and then loss got cut. So that is another thing to bring up too, which we can improve on as well. So we are playing with exchange delays, we are playing with servers, we're playing, obviously we're playing on 3 or Alertatron or wherever you're trading, right? So there's always the chance that you can have an exchange delay and things not come through, or signals get missed, or any sort of issue like that. So what I'm going to recommend, and the team's going to recommend, is total is 140% capital usage on SO2. Do not exceed it, SO2, right? So if you can't exceed SO2, you can't go past 140% capital usage, aka 1.4x. 300% on SO3. So now if you do the math between them, SO2 reduction in capital usage is 64% compared to SO3, because you're only using 140% versus that 300. The numbers don't really support this change to go anything further. Sorry, numbers support this change, and our indicator improvements will ensure that we don't short the bottom or along the top with that RSI filter that I just showed you on our first video. So it will come in handy. Now, the actual quick way to show it on the bots is I can show you the bots next, and I'll show you where we had an SO4 or an SO5 on the, I think it was the short bot, and it was not good. So if you're watching this video now and you're able just to run only SO2, and you know, obviously we're done with the testing phase of that, then you're good. But I can show you the loss because it wasn't, well, you'll see shortly. So let's load the long first. This is the long bot once it loads. So obviously this is 3 commas. It's the scalper long. This is the same account. This guy is basically up $107 in profit, $107 in change. This is going to be basically our current settings. That's what we're running. The losses on these guys were not too terrible. This is on the long, right? So if I look at the long, the losses might have been on 3 or they might have been on 2 SOs because they didn't really affect the balance too much. If I go back here, yeah, you're risking a lot on a loss versus the profits, when you actually get a good signal. So this, with nothing going past SO2, we can improve because our capital usage is going to be less, so that loss is going to be less. Right? Because it doesn't make sense to risk a lot and to lose a lot here with a higher amount of safety trades, which is this setting. So, and this is clear when you look at the short bot. When you look at the short bot, we were looking all good and everything was all fine. $60 in profit, and just till bang, we just got whacked right out of the sky and basically lost $57. This was I think this one was a 5 SO hit or a 4th SO hit. It wasn't pretty, it was not good. And when you're looking at it, this can be definitely improved a lot. So from here, on the flip side, we've adjusted, we've tweaked settings. This is why this video is coming out after our RSI filter has been implemented, not only on the marketplace, but on the indicator as well, and just filmed up a video on it. So I'm happy to report that we're basically back up there in the profits. We're up $36 and change here on this. I know the numbers on 3C don't quite match Bybit, and that's probably due to fees, right? Sometimes you pay fees on Bybit even with a limit exit. So that's why this is showing 36 and 107, which actually, quick math, so $143, and back to our exchange, and it's only showing us up, what did it show us up? I'd have to go back to trade. Yeah, so fees is definitely 143, right? So actually, no, that matches exactly. I'm lying to you. So 143 exactly. So 3 commas does do a fairly good job. I thought there would be a little bit of a discrepancy in there because of sometimes, like I say, when you place a limit order and the bid and ask is pretty tight, you're going to pay that taker fee on it anyways. But regardless, so getting back onto where I was going with this. So long was fine. Short, it became apparent that we got whacked out of the sky with too many SOs, and that was a nasty signal because it was either a 4th or a 5th DCA, and then a reverse came in and just boom, done. So with that, if I can come back to here, the bot settings. So let's look at the bot settings here, and they're going to be typical for both. So what we've done is we've just taken one bot setting, made it on one, and then copied it to the other. So it's easy, right? If you're already set up and running, all you have to do is just edit each bot one at a time. If you're pushing your own alerts, that's easy peasy. If you're on the 3 commas marketplace, all you'll have to do is you will have to just make one, start it, and then copy it, switch direction, long or short. Back to the bot settings. So max safety trades count, that's 2. So that's this setting here. So that means that upon initial limit or market entry. If you are long, you're going to have 2 DCAs below you. If you're short, you got 2 DCA levels above you. Max active safety trades count, that's 2. So that's 2, and that means that as soon as you enter, those are placed and hard placed on the exchange. Below for long and above for short, like what I just said. Price deviation, now that's the setting for the initial first round of safety orders. So that's percent from initial order. So I've got this set at 0.5. However, it could be beneficial if you wanted to go a little bit lower on user preference. You know, anywhere from 0.4 to 0.5%. There are some users running 0.42, 0.45, 0.48, 0.5. You know, just keep in mind with that scale of 2.0, if you enter on a let's call it a long and price dumps down 0.5%, if you hit that safety, theoretically it should be 50% retrace and you're out. It's very close. So if you are a little lower on the safety scale, if you're lower on the safety scale, like 0.4, you can catch that quick wick and get out earlier. Whereas if you're higher on the scale, like 0.5, sometimes you don't catch that wick down to 0.5 and get out. So this is kind of this will be up to the user preference, right? 0.4 to 0.5. I'm personally running a bit of both. I've got 0.5 and I've got 0.45 and 0.42. It's interesting to see there. It's the same signals, but some bots get out earlier and later and whatnot, right? So the safety order volume scale 2. So this is the volume scale that makes it aggressive DCA, right? As shown by our DCA calculator, this doubles each sequential safety. Now, like as I said earlier, using this, you would only be 1.4x. So we don't really have to worry about anything past there. That's a decent level. That's what we're going to recommend. 20 and 40 is what we're going to recommend. Anything higher, you do so at your own risk. All I can say is whatever you do, keep it the same, keep it consistent, because that way all you need to do is win more than you lose and your balance will increase over time. If you do note on this guy, I am testing 30 and 60%. So far it is running good. As you said, the more capital that you put up, the more risks you take. So obviously these numbers would change, right? On 30 and 60, I would actually be 2.4x. So I'm 1x leverage higher than, sorry, I got that wrong. 30 and 60, 2.1x. So I'm a little bit higher. I'm, what am I, 0.6x higher. Back to the rest of the settings there. So safety order step scale. Well, I'm at 1.4 right now. This can be anywhere from 1.4 to 1.5. It's kind of up to the user yet again where you want to run with it. So that's just going to be your percent deviation between safety orders 1 and 2. So that's, I believe it's going to be 0.5 times that number added to the initial 0.5. And that'll get you to your final destination. This bot here is going to be right around the, I want to say it's right around that 1% safety. So the math is very close. You'll have to excuse me here. 0.5 times 1.4, 0.7, and I add 0.5, 1.2. Yeah, so that's bang on. So it's basically your, and this is the account, you can see 0.105. Just jet back to here. 0.107, don't know why it's displaying. It'll display a little bit differently because I got an active order. But so this is going to be your price deviation is your first safety order. So that's going to be where you first enter, and then your deviation step scale is going to be times that and then added back. So it's going to be 0.5 times 1.4, which is 0.7, and then you're going to add that to your first SO, which is 0.5, and that's your total coverage is 1.2. So it's basically a safety order step scale, and it's applicable between safety orders. It's how you can spread them out or tighten them up. Because conversely, you could do something like this where it's very low and you have a false, you're getting lower safeties. But I'm just going to leave it as is. I like that 1.4. So now the other thing that we noted here is with this, how could we have, actually, let's just go back. With that short bot, how could we have avoided that loss? Well, it's easy. The clear method to that would be DCA to 1.2% or 1%, depending on what the end user client wants to be comfortable with. And then to me, it's just set a stop, and then the stop is there to wipe your trade out and just cut it and avoid anything running past like this. So I'm only really risking 2% on a stop loss, and it's going to be a lot better than this with way too many SOs. So we'll get to the signal next, but basically the signal is going to be taken off the 20-minute high time frame filter. So that 20-minute chart has to change trends, and that has to flip on you. So the stop loss is there to catch it before the auto reverse signal comes in, because theoretically that should be our last fail-safe mechanism to get us out. So what I'm going to say here is STB recommends to set a stop loss at 2 to 2.5% or wherever the user is comfortable at. So it should be below SO2, obviously, like if you're long, but give it a bit of breathing room. So if I've got SO2 at 1.2% here, I want my stop loss at 2% or 2.5%. I want to give it a bit of breathing room, because in case if I hit SO2, my stop loss should have enough room to avoid fake out wicks, but it should also be hit prior to auto reverse to minimize losses. So this comes because we trade with the trend, and we always want to trade with the trend. So if that trend changes on us, then let's just cut that trade and let's go with the trend. Like, we don't need to be applying heavy DCA or heavy bandages to a bad trade. We should just cut that trade as soon as it's gone bad and then trade with the trend. So the imagination would be ETH from last year, 180 to 280. That was a huge gain. Had we have had this setup then, it would have just been, okay, boom, cut an ETH short at maybe 150, 160, cut it at 180. You're going to get some slight retraces on shorts, but cut the short, trade long, and you would have caught a lot of the breakouts on the way up, and this would have avoided a lot of basically losses, and this would have avoided a lot of bad signals, because we've got high time frame RSI filter. Now we've got a bit better on the safety end, and now we're getting the stop loss implemented as well too. So now back to the indicator on the chart, just so I can explain that auto reverse a little bit better if you don't know what that's all about. So the auto reverse is basically there. It's the first, sorry, excuse me, okay, there she goes. So the auto reverse is going to happen on the first trend signal if it closes the opposite trend position. So the example would be is if I had a short here, well, that's a bad example. This here, if I had a short here and it wasn't out here, this long signal would close an open short position. That's just to get out, trade with the trend, and then we catch these wicks on the way up. So the intent is to always trade with a trend and cut a loss quickly versus holding on to the position with excessive DCA and potentially never getting out and having to take a big loss. Just use your imagination. Imagine a long at 9,300, then it immediately dumps to 8,900. Auto reverse would close that long at 9,300 or below whenever that signal gets there to flip short and trade with the overall trend. An example would be the sell signal closes an open long position in loss to open a short position and trade with the trend. Indicator users on if you've got our bot guides, you know how to do it. We're just using delays, multiple delays. So with that, earlier stop loss can be beneficial to the users, because then it's going to cut that at a slightly less loss versus taking that full auto reverse. If you cut it at 2% versus 3%, that helps. And so I'll show you an example on the chart. These are all good. All these signals are good. Lately, the market hasn't been great. It hasn't been moving. It's been chopping. This signal would get out with DCA here. This is fine all the way down here. I personally did get out on this one, but there were a few folks in chat that did get hit with this one. This is a little risky because it is a good signal, and I'm zooming all the way in just so you could see it. This is a good signal, but however, it only hits 0.47%. Actually, sorry, I need to aim higher. Yeah, it is showing it as 0.47%. Okay, well, whatever. So it's showing it as 0.47%, but there's a couple factors here that we have to keep in mind. So first thing is going to be API or exchange delays. Second thing is going to be market or limit entry. If you enter market, you're buying at the, so if you're long, you're buying at basically the ask. If you're shorting, you're buying at the bid. And then if you are having a big balance, you might be pushing that order book up very high. So it depends where you're getting on this. I don't quite know. I don't know why users did not get out on this, because there was one or two I think that got hit with this. So there could be, this guy could have got out with a round of DCA. If we had a DCA at 0.5%, we would have needed up to here. And if we had a second round at like 1.2%, all you'd need is 50% retrace. We should have got out here theoretically, because that's approximately above 50% retrace from that initial signal. And apologies for the quick measuring. I'm just trying to get this out, this video out for you guys and gals. And then other than that, the shorts here, this was clear market manipulation. So glad we've got our high time frame filter, so we did not touch anything with that. This short would have been good, exited out. We took two longs, all good here. You didn't get out here, you definitely got out up here. And then same with this sell signal. So 20-minute high time frame filter changed, our 2-minute flip short, and then you would have exited here. And we took our second short today, earlier, and that closed in profit. And here we're basically waiting for our next signals, which is at this option, it's either going to be an RE2 slightly lower, or it's going to be a complete trend change and flip. But so if that makes sense, the auto reverse signal on this sell signal here would close this open long if it happened. And same with here. If we had an open short position here and we flipped on the 20-minute, which allowed the 2-minute to go long, then the 20-minute buy signal will allow our 2-minute chart to go long. It's going to cut our short position at a loss, and we will trade with the trend if it changes with us. So that's basically the gist of it all here. This is the, I want to say, the high level overview of it. If you're just on 3 commas, you've got access to our signals direct, and that's the easiest way to get started, because that's plug and play. We're over here on 3 commas, Marketplace 94, STP scalper alerts. And if you come on over here, all of these bot links have been updated. Every signal on here has high time frame filter and our RSI filter as well. And as you can see, we've put a little bit of work into it. Obviously it's not perfect yet, because there are going to be a few little losses, but then again, it is trading, right? So very happy with what we've got so far. We've just added that RSI filter as of a day ago. So hopefully from now on forward, everything gets a little bit greener here on these pages, and everyone is happy and starting making some more bucks and trading. So if you have any other questions, you can always read our marketplace listing on here. This is a quick little blurb on the settings, as well as this video will do for a guide. And I will include this original text here in the YouTube link once we're done. And other than that, if you're not involved in STP bots or indicators or trading and you want to get involved, you can always head on over to our website at swingtradepros.com and check us out. You can subscribe to both our indicators and our alert service as well. Or if you're just interested on the bots, you're probably best just to go to the 3 commas Marketplace Direct, which was this, and then you can just subscribe by clicking the button right here, and it'll allow you to one-click drop down, and you can edit a bot to have STP send signals to your bot. So other than that, thank you for watching, and if you guys have, or guys or gals have any questions, please join our Discord and you can hit us up for more support. We also do offer one-on-one coaching, and we're always here for you guys and gals. So anyways, take care, and we'll catch you on the next video. Talk to you later.